And it says we are live. Usually we stare at the screen for a few minutes, so I'm going to make sure we don't do that this time. Oh, you're not going to put on headphones to hear me? Oh. Okay, cool. I hope so. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. The thing is, it's going to hear my voice coming out through your speakers, remember? Actually, I don't, so it's all right. Well, yeah, I can. A little bit. Yeah, I can. You're going to have to put on headphones, man. That's all right. You're kind of... You have room to scoot closer. Much closer. They'll see it at the beginning. You can always move your camera down a little bit. You got a lot of headspace right now. There you go. Hell yeah. Money, 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 money. You need a desk lamp, buddy. Yeah, you're a little dark. Let me see if I can fix that. Color? Oh, hang on. I can fix it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but I brightened you. That's perfect, actually. All right, wait. Go back to your resting spot. I want to make sure I'm not overlaying you. Just go to your left. More to your left. You'll see on the stream in a second. Are you pulling up? No, you're not. You're not. But the corner has to block that strobing window, so you gotta work around it a little bit. All right, well, we've been going for a little bit. All right, Mark Pearson's here. Sam Power's here. Channel Sundown's here. Scuba Steve is here. Channel Sundown, let me say thank you right off the bat for my lovely Krampus ornament. That is amazing. It's already on the tree. It's the centerpiece of the tree. It's pretty awesome. Thank you very much. And Fuego, I need you to film your portion of that unboxing because there's something for you as well, so I can edit it into the unboxing. So they can barely hear you, Fuego. Can you guys hear him okay, or was it because I was talking over him? Yeah, there's a new one every time. Can everyone hear him okay? Please confirm or deny. Move to your left, Fuego. Thank you. You'll see on the stream, you're getting covered by my corner a little bit. Alright. Well, Sam says he can't hear you. Fuck, why? In my hear him. In my hear him. That didn't help, Scuba Steve. What does in my hear him help? Channel Sundown, can you hear him? Mark Pearson, can you hear him? I can't hear him. Fuck, god damn it. They can't hear you. Alright, so let's hang on, let me check. Well, there's a reason I'm not. That needs to be fixed, and then system sound, default speakers, mono mix, no. Can you guys hear him now? Can you hear him now? Can you hear him now? Can't hear him. God damn it. All right, I'm gonna end it. Call back in one more time, Fuego. Guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, how are we doing this time? Do we hear him? He's back. He's back. I hope. We're going to find out. All right, guys, can you hear him? Nope, still can't hear him. God damn it, are you serious? I hear him loud and clear. All right. Fuck. Hang on. I don't understand, man. Skype. No. Does anyone know anything about this and why I'm screwing it up? Jesus, this is horrible. Why does this always happen? How about now, guys? Can you hear him now?
Check it out. Fuego, what's it all about?
Can you hear him now? Can't hear him. Try again. Can you hear him now?
Talking.
Has to do with the headphones. I know, I'm trying. The headphones, I don't have an option on. I'm stuck with the headphone situation.
I still don't, I guess, understand why I need to use headphones. Could that be messing something up? Or?
No. Because I can hear you fine. It doesn't make any sense. Yes. Can hear him clearly. Yay!
Can you hear me now?
All right. Okay, so I need to remember what that fucking setting is. Jiminy Jillikers. Okay, so I need to switch the system sound to what I'm hearing. Then everyone can hear everything. You guys can hear me now too, right? Everyone can hear everything? Okay, cool. All right. Holy shit. All right, so that's about 7 minutes of this. I'm going to have to edit out, post. All right,
thanks for bearing with us, though, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for sticking with us. We appreciate it. So, yep, I can hear him now. Wait, so Sam, is his mic clicking? You can do it okay? Or all right, whatever. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm clear. Okay, perfect. Fuego.
Yes.
Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Nothing but Star Wars. Please let these Star Wars stay.
All right. So let's do this like we normally do the reviews on this channel. That is, we're going to talk about the overall thoughts, the acting, the story, the effects, all that good stuff. And let's start with the overall thoughts. Fuego, you go first since this is your baby.
I'm conflicted about this film in a lot of ways. I really, really loved a lot of it, but there was a lot of other stuff that I had serious qualms with, including pacing and some scripting aspects and whatnot. But overall, I could definitely say that I had a hell of a lot of fun with this. It was lighter in tone at times than I was expecting, especially after all of those dark trailers and whatnot. But they kept going with some of the humor, occasionally unnecessary, that they ran with in The Force Awakens. But I mean, the more I thought about it, there's kind of just goofiness throughout all the Star Wars films, even Empire, so and really, really in the prequels. So yes, overall, I did like it, but I don't know if I'd say I loved it. So what about you, man?
I really enjoyed the movie, honestly. Part of why I wasn't the hugest fan of Force Awakens was the fact that it was such a rehash of A New Hope. And while this one did have sort of some, callbacks to Empire, it was not just a rehash of Empire. It was something that felt new. However, there was something in the movie that reflected the pacing very directly in a detrimental way. So we'll get to that. But overall, I really actually had fun with the movie. I thought it was a good time.
Yeah, pacing issues. It felt its length. I will definitely say that. Yeah. It really, really did. More so than even The Force Awakens did. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, the story, though, Fuego, why don't you talk about the story?
Well, the story, we're not talking like major time jump or anything, guys. We're pretty much right after the end of TFA, and the Resistance is on the run from the First Order, and the Resistance is basically the rebellion, just with some new name for it, which I don't know what I think about that. Just like the First Order is essentially the Empire. It's the same aesthetic. It's the same kind of conflict and whatnot. But we rejoin up with these awesome new characters that I loved so much in Poe and Rey and Finn. Rey is just about to meet up with Luke on this beautiful island. They filmed it in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got Finn in his little cryo chambery thing, trying to heal up after that fight with Kylo Ren. And then Poe is as ragtag as ever. But I loved the way that they just went right into action in this. I thought the initial space battle was really badass. But then from there, it just, I don't know, it does a lot of jumping between different storylines. And most of the stories worked, but I will definitely say that there was one in particular that was just boredom, and that I didn't like it, and I felt like it was kind of since this is non-spoiler, I felt like that story was a disservice to a character that I really enjoyed the hell out of in the previous film, and yet in this one, I felt like they didn't give him something very compelling to work with. The best story, obviously, is what's going on the island with Luke and with Rey, and Luke being so jaded and just frustrated, and I mean, he's gone to this island on his little sabbatical because he kind of was thinking that was going to be the end, for him, you know, and that's not really a spoiler or anything. I mean, in the previous film, they say that he went into exile because of, or hiding or whatever, because of the fact that he was so disappointed with what happened with his Jedi training facility that he had put together, and all the stuff with, you know, with the Solo child and whatnot, the Solo Skywalker hybrid that is Kylo, Ben Solo, and yeah, most of the storytelling worked for me, despite taking some daringly bold moves in a few instances. But like I said, there's one of the 3 stories we jump between that sucked for me. So you guys, if you've seen the film, you know what it is.
Yeah, I thought the overall story was a good continuation of The Force Awakens. There were, though, some disappointing turns. I agree with you on that. I was actually a little underwhelmed by the Luke and Rey of it all, because I was hoping for more. I was just hoping for more than I got, but you know, they stuck to the storytelling guns, as it were. They stuck to the characterization that they put in place, whether I agree with it or not. But it wasn't the story that impressed me in this movie. That's not why I enjoyed the movie. So I'm actually not the happiest with the story. I like some aspects. I dislike other aspects.
Yeah, one of my qualms with the storytelling is that the fact that I feel like they set up a lot of stuff as being really big and crucial and important in The Force Awakens, and maybe this is one of the tough things with bringing on a different writer-director, is that it's so tough not to spoil in this. Like, there's certain things that you thought were going to be big revelations and huge things from this previous film that were just kind of tossed aside and kind of rendered unimportant in the grand scheme of things. And
undone.
As somebody,
flat out undone.
Totally, just I mean, you thought these were going to be big, huge plot points, and then they're just like, no, that's not really working. Let's just act like it wasn't really much of a thing. But yet, in turn, that alters some of the mythology, especially with Rey and the parent explanation. And this is not spoiling anything. They built her up and her lineage up almost as a justification for the amount of power she possesses, and then the reveal doesn't correlate for me, and that's trying to be as vague as possible. And you guys can tell it's really tough here.
It's not being super vague, but all right. It's just, well, but here's the thing, man. You gotta understand. Consider the source of the information.
Yeah.
Consider the source of the information. Consider the circumstances under which the information is provided.
True.
And you don't necessarily have the whole picture. So I am not fully disappointed by that, because I think there's still something more there. I think that it was a crucial moment that a person trying to get an advantage mentally would use in order to do so, whether it be true or not. So
I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying. But,
I'm not. I don't think that's necessarily 100% resolved. I think there were some things that were resolved that were disappointingly done. So, though, I will not say that. While that isn't one of them for me, there were other ones that do fall into that category. I will say. Again, let's keep it. Let's keep it. Yeah, no, this is no spoilers. We're keeping it vague for this discussion. Then we're going to jump back on with a spoiler discussion immediately afterwards.
Yeah, so, there's 2 other resolutions in particular that I wasn't satisfied with. I wasn't happy with. Well, but there was enough to enjoy in this movie where, and that's why, I mean, not to jump back to overall impressions, but despite the problems I had with certain, and that's the thing, maybe we should have done this right after we saw the film, but we had technical difficulties that night, unfortunately, because now I've had a few days to sit and simmer on it and think about it and to just really just, I don't know, once again, ponder things and give it some more.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the aspects that I really enjoyed, I gotta say.
No, me neither.
So let's continue on though. Let's stick with the acting before we get to those particular aspects, which I actually I enjoyed Rey a lot. I enjoyed Luke's acting. You know, this is
he was great.
This is for every character I mention, it's script notwithstanding. Okay, they all did their damnedest with what they were provided script-wise. While I might not have agreed with a lot of the script choices, I think they were all acted out very well.
I agree, especially with the new characters. I have grown to, after The Last Jedi, I love the new characters even more than I did. Poe especially, I felt like they finally gave
Poe in this movie
a little bit more to chew on in this one compared to the previous one. You know, it was Finn who I thought, honestly, I loved in the previous one, and he was kind of given the short end of the stick a little bit, storytelling-wise. But Rey, she continues.
What up, Jason? Sorry, I wanted to jump in and just say hi to Jason. He just reminded me I need to post that we're doing this right now.
But all three of these young actors in the new trio, I thought killed it. Mark Hamill impressed me very, very much so. I didn't necessarily like his attitude enough, but as I thought about it a little bit more, you know, just his jadedness and everything, his disillusionment kind of makes sense, because I mean, didn't Yoda more or less do the same thing of just going into hiding after a bunch of shitty stuff went down? And so I mean, while I wasn't as appreciative of the grizzled Luke of sorts, I still understood it from a storytelling standpoint. Even if I wanted a little bit more positivity, I wanted a little bit more of an arc, maybe, you know, than we actually got. But that's notwithstanding his acting. He played to the source material that he was given by Rian Johnson very, very well. And I know he personally has stated in the press that he had some issues himself with the storytelling as well, and with the way that they pushed Luke through. But I tried not to let that cloud my impression just of what he brought to the table from a thespian standpoint and from an actor standpoint. And I still think he did a hell of a job. Really good. Leia, you know, Carrie Fisher in her final on-screen role was a lot better than the previous film. Also with her, they gave her a little bit more to chew on, and she didn't seem as wooden. She seemed a little bit more natural. And as you and I both know, because we both geeked out, there's one scene in particular with Leia that is super rad.
Yeah.
And I think some people might take exception with it.
Yeah, I think some people have, but not me, man. Not me.
No, I thought it was cathartic, and it was beautiful, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So, acting-wise, if I could say anything, the two new people brought to the table in this, which would be Laura Dern and Benicio del Toro, they felt very throwaway to me, and I kind of didn't understand why they were there.
Yeah, but they didn't really. They weren't justified. They weren't justified. Yeah. Benicio seems like he could be justified down the line, but for this one, he was merely a convenience. He was a convenience on two different fronts, actually. But again, he was Benicio. You know, he wasn't disappointing. He was very him. You know, and so it was interesting to see how, you know, things unfolded with him. But yeah, Laura Dern was not necessarily necessary, and you know, things that happened around through the course of the movie were not necessarily necessary either. But they were cool nonetheless. They were cool nonetheless.
There's one scene with Laura Dern though that's wicked badass.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, you know, I enjoyed Finn's continuation. Like I said, I really enjoyed Rey. I enjoyed Luke. I have to say, I enjoyed Krylo more in this movie than I liked in the last movie. I'm actually disappointed I have yet to mention him, because he brought a lot of gravitas to this. Like, you felt the confliction so intensely from this guy. And Adam Driver, I mean, he was okay in the previous one, but this one I just felt just so much more scope to his character, and you see in the trailers that, you know, he is kind of he's got an internal struggle going on, and some of the things that he does surprised me in a good way and in a bad way. So yeah,
that's not to discount his performance though at all.
I have to say there was some really, really cool interactions between him and Rey.
Yes.
You know, unexpected ones, and we won't say how or anything, you know, for fear of spoiling and stuff. But when they were together acting, it was really, really enjoyable every time. Yes. It really was.
Yeah, they have a very interesting back and forth with a particular connection we can't really reveal, which is pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah.
And
Well, it was almost different. It's definitely different.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, that pretty much hits all the acting bases. I mean, we can't really talk as much about Serkis because it's like, is it acting? Is it? I mean, he did the voiceover work for Snoke, obviously, right?
Yes, yeah, and motion capture too, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not really in it very much. So, anyway,
yeah, I mean, Space Hefner was pretty interesting, but
that robe, bro.
But nonetheless, okay. So again, we're continuing on without spoiling. Our non-spoiler review is going to be a little bit shorter, but continuing on, let's talk about the parts that I really loved, and that was the effects. Oh my god, it was so awesome. The space battles were so killer. The opening scene with Poe assaulting the Dreadnought was badass. The scene that you were talking about, that let's not refer to who we're talking about, but there is something done in this movie that is so awesome that they literally drop sound out of the movie to let you just take it in.
And everybody in the theater was like,
whoa, it was awesome. Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of CG jerks, but it wasn't bad. It was the good kind. It wasn't
so
episode 1 level. It was episode 7 level, which is great. But
honestly, I thought this was way beyond even that. I think this was the best looking Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
I agree, actually.
Especially like there's a battle that we see in the trailer where there's like red streaks kind of thing with these ships floating around, and that scene is just majesty to behold.
It really is
gorgeously done. The color contrast is amazing, and back to the space battles you mentioned. All the cinematography on the island that Luke is hiding out on, fantastic. It's probably the best looking Star Wars movie that I've ever seen. Sorry, JJ, but this took it to another level. It really
blew it out. And what I was getting at is there's this moment that there's something regarding space travel that has always been a question to me. That is that happens in everything from Star Wars to Star Trek to Battlestar Galactica to everything that has space travel. There's a question that I've never seen addressed until this movie, and I was like, when it was addressed, it was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And again, the physics of it, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The whole thing is metaphorical. It's all hypothetical physics anyway. So who knows how it would actually work? But that scene was badass to behold nonetheless, man. It was awesome.
I agree. I just saw something Chase Smith said real quick, and he is right on the money about it with the Kurosawa influence. They samurai'd up the Jedi in this, for damn sure they did.
Snoke's guards were awesome, I gotta say.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were like upgrades of the crazy red
Royal Guard, that
the Emperor had. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were really cool. There again, Krylo did a great job. He had a really cool moment. A few really cool moments. Let's see, who else? Admiral Akbar got short shrifted a little bit.
I agree.
But yeah,
disappointing. We can't talk about that.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, let's continue. Well, I mean, was there any? I thought all the lightsaber stuff was awesome. Let's talk about the lightsaber stuff first, though, because
surprisingly not like a lightsaber to lightsaber battle, really. Though, I mean, there's something with two characters near the end, but it's I don't know.
That's true. There is
it's not full really fight,
cool.
Though.
Finn has a really cool battle.
Brief as it was.
It's a little short, but it was still really cool.
And also shortchanging another character that I'm sure they created at this point just to sell a lot of toys because she hasn't been much of anything in both films. So.
Well, the way to use the gender terminology, but anyway,
this character. That's right. I guess the damage has already been done, right?
So all right, guys, the music. Yes, I dug the music. Afterwards, the whole way driving back, I kept like humming the tune and like kind of singing the dun, dun, or I can't even remember which one I was doing, Fuego, but the whole way back, I was pretty much doing something.
You were.
But yeah, I dug the music, man. It got me into it.
It was a nice blend of old and new, because there was callbacks to a lot of the stuff from the original trilogy, and then they blended it very nicely with it. I know a lot of people were critical of the Rogue One score. I happen to like it, but it was very different, and maybe different was better for a side story in contrast with this being a saga film and, the more like appropriate, actual entries as opposed to something that's going to stand alone and be its own. So yeah, score was great. John Williams brought it again, killed it, man. He's
for sure
fantastic.
All right, guys, I think that's pretty much good. I want to get into spoilers, so
I know there's not much else we can really say without spoiling shit. So.
Let's call it here. We're gonna go ahead and stop this one. And then within about a minute, we're going to sign back on with our spoiler discussion. If you've seen it, jump back on with us and let's talk some fun shit right now. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, guys. It is absolutely 100% worth seeing in the theater. Do not skip out on this. I thought the 3D was fun. It was great. I don't know if it was necessary, but it was really nice. Excuse me. I think I need another shot. But it was really fun. So... we're going to have about a half-hour discussion, I think. Maybe a little less. Maybe we'll see. But
I've seen the length of some of these spoiler discussions. People are doing like fucking 2-hour spoiler discussions.
I know. But I got to go.
Jesus Christ,
I got to go to dinner with Brittany and my mom after a little bit here. So, all right, guys. We'll be back in just a minute. But until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, may the Force be with you.
Always.
And stay scared.
Of Snoke.